Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, lovers and seekers. Tonight's fragment sports a headline that reads, Sound and Light, and the body reads as follows. The lies that blind us are the ties that bind us. Tonight will mark our fourth talk on this shortest of fragments. And tonight, we will place this fragment within the Zero Friction Machine Company inventory and give a few words to its classification. 1. Classification, Artifact Entry 47th, Zero Friction Machine Company. Category, Paradoxical Binding Modules Notes on Registration. Filed under Internal Systems Interference Patterns Status, Active Component, Incomplete Calibration Associated Artifacts, Hide and Seek, The Mystic, Good Knowledge to Have Usage Note. This fragment must not be handled lightly. It is a volatile stabilizer. It will induce blindness if used without appropriate protection. It will also provoke untethering in the operator if interpreted too literally. It works best as a mirror, store in shaded case. 2. Luminous Deception, a review of the 3 prior codices. In the first codex, we began with the metaphor of the cathedral. The lie was understood not as an error, but as an architecture of misperception. The cathedral was made of dazzling light and majestic sound, a temple of coherence that upon closer inspection concealed its captives in spectacle. The lie blinded not by hiding, but by overshowing. It flooded the eye. It exhausted the senses. The binding was a choreography, a pattern we danced, thinking it freedom. In the second codex we traced the sound. We followed its path. From the lullabies of nationalism to the self-soothing repetitions of personal shame, we recognized how deception is not passive. It is sung. It is spoken, repeated, ritualized, and each repetition is a rope, each slogan a strand in the tie. Thus, the lie that blinds us becomes not merely a perceptual limitation, but a structural condition. It becomes the world. To awaken is not to revise an idea. It is to leave a universe behind. In the third codex, we approach the tie itself, the longing for it, the soul's hunger for shape, the necessity even of certain bonds. For not all ties are bad. Some are anchors, some are handholds. The lie becomes dangerous precisely because it counterfeits what is good. It gives the sensation of being held, known, protected. But it is not holding, it is haltering. Not embracing, it is enclosing. Not covenant, but contract. Now, in this fourth address, we must hold all 3 lenses together. But we must also go further. We must place the fragment within a wider schema of meaning, a cosmology of distortion and return. 3. The inventory room, entering the archive picture, if you will, the central archive of the Zero Friction Machine Company. Not a warehouse, not a server farm, not a library. No. It is a spatial anomaly, a place that exists both inside the factory and within the mind of anyone who has truly doubted their perception. It is a room that rearranges itself based on what you ask of it. Walk into the back, past the diagrams of unseen forces, past the shelf of transdimensional delay pedals, beyond the cabinet marked forbidden drafts, and you will come upon a drawer labeled Sound and Light. Open it. Inside you will find a pair of broken eyeglasses, one lens blacked out, one smeared with gold leaf, and a reel of magnetic tape looped infinitely, whispering a sentence in a dozen dialects. A rope knotted with elegant symmetry, yet inexplicably wet with tears. A child's nightlight still faintly glowing. A schematic, indecipherable, unless turned upside down, revealing a map of a labyrinth overlaid with a human face. Each item is ordinary. Each item is radiant. Each item is false. This drawer does not contain evidence. It contains instructions on how a person becomes convinced they are seeing when they are not, and how this conviction becomes a covenant. This drawer contains the technology of entrapment. 4. Blindness as belonging. Now consider this. To be blind is not simply to lack vision. It is to be dependent on the guide, on the system, on the one who says, "Follow me." Here lies the paradox. The one who is most blind is often most certain, for uncertainty requires sight. To doubt what you see, to interrogate the light itself, demands an awareness that blindness cannot afford. And so the lie does not merely hide the truth, it substitutes for it. It provides meaning, purpose, identity, and because it does so effectively, it becomes cherished. It is not simply endured, it is beloved. The lie that blinds us is adopted as family. We defend it, we justify it, we retell it as history, and it becomes the tie that binds us. 5. The knot, the mechanism of belief. Now observe the knot. Knots are fascinating things. They are both connection and constraint. They hold things together, and they prevent movement. The same knot that ties a boat safely to the dock can become the noose. What determines whether a knot is safety or bondage? Consent. And herein lies the trap. The lie, once internalized, appears to be chosen. The one who is bound says, "I tied this knot myself." The deception has rewritten not only perception, but agency. This is the genius of the fragment. It shows us how the lie constructs a false will, a will that believes itself free, a will that chooses its own binding. This is not hypnosis. This is indoctrination. The one who is bound sings the song of the tie. The one who is blinded preaches the light. And so the system replicates. 6. Sound, the harmonic cage sound in this framework, is not just content. It is form, it is shape. Consider how much of our world is shaped by tone, not only what is said, but how it is said. The anchorman's calm assurance, the algorithm's cheerful chime, the corporate jingle, the soft apology that covers abuse. The voice that lies is often the most beautiful. And so the ear becomes the first point of deception. Words become music. Music becomes truth. And the soul is caged, not with barbed wire, but with resonance. This is the harmonic cage. You do not resist it. You hum along. 7. Light, spectacle as suppression light, as the twin of sound completes the enclosure. But not all light is illuminating. There is the glare of screens, the flash of sirens, the relentless brightness of surveillance, the curated glow of branding, the oversaturated imagery of hyper-reality. All of it promises clarity, all of it blinds. The eye, overwhelmed, cannot distinguish signal from noise, and so it gives up. The brain begins to filter, to tune out, to accept the dominant image. This is not seeing, this is submission. And so we stop looking. And in the stopping, we are bound. 8. Zero friction, and the dream of movement. Let us pause here. We must now ask, why does the Zero Friction Machine Company collect these fragments? Why do we catalog the bindings? Why store lies? Because the company, contrary to rumor, is not trying to prevent movement. It is trying to restore it. The company's name is not ironic. It is aspirational. Zero friction does not mean ease. It means liberation from unseen resistance. Every fragment, sound and light included, is a node in a hidden network of constraints. To map the lie is to loosen the tie. To name the blindness is to begin to see. Each fragment in the archive is a tool of disruption, designed not to console, but to cut. Thus, sound and light is not just a warning. It is a device, a mirror, a prism, a bell. When used correctly, it will break the spell. 9. And then what? If the lies are named, if the lights are dimmed, if the sound is stilled, what happens next? This is the question of the final section. It is not enough to awaken. One must also learn to walk again. This is where the Zero Friction Machine Company offers no guarantee. The awakening will cost you your place. You may no longer belong where you once did. Your friends may still sing the old songs. Your institutions will offer the old lights. You may feel exiled. You will be tempted to go back. But remember, Freedom is not the absence of all ties. Freedom is the refusal to be tied by a lie. There are true bonds, true lights, true words, but they do not blind, and they do not bind. They invite, they summon, they offer, and you are free to answer. 10. Final calibration note. Use with caution. The fragment sound and light is not meant to be read only once. It is a recursive module. It will appear again in different rooms. Sometimes it will speak in political tones. Sometimes it will appear in the face of a loved one. Sometimes it will echo in your own voice. Wherever you find yourself repeating something that feels good but costs nothing, stop. Wherever you see a light too bright to look at directly, pause. Wherever you hear a sound that tells you what you want to hear, listen harder, for the lie that blinds is seductive, and the tie that binds often looks like home. But if you carry this fragment in your coat pocket, if you keep it folded in your inner room, if you learn its shape, its weight, its language, then one day, when the veil is thick and the rope is tight, you may remember this is not light, this is not song, this is not home, this is the architecture of deception, and you may cut the knot, you may close your eyes, you may fall into silence, and you may begin at last to see